to Small Time Critics. I'm Hashi, 1/3 of Small Time Critics. And Mo's not here, he's still in New York, but we have two outstanding guests today. We have the king of pop culture, TRIZLUCENT.
Round of applause, yo.
And we have Midnight Gaz.
Mr. Sexual Chocolate.
This guy, man.
Give me some of your names, bro.
It's Gaz,
Midnight
man.
on the Night Train. You know what I'm saying?
It's just Gaz, but yeah, man, I appreciate you guys for having me. It's good to be here with the king of pop culture and that, you know what I'm saying?
Oh,
yes.
Hello. Nice
And obviously Mohammed Hashi in the building as well. It's good to be here, man. No, I love coming on this podcast, so yeah, figure it out.
And we had to have Gaz on to talk about The Penguin.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
Appreciate it.
One of his favorite shows of the year. And also Triz, you know what I mean, a huge The Batman fan, you know what I mean, and the Penguin fan.
Yeah,
So first of all, Gaz, as the Penguin aficionado,
Here we go.
give us your summary. Obviously, you can go into spoilers.
Yeah.
But tell me your thoughts about the season.
Bro, he's got like 7 paragraphs right there ready to go.
Let's go.
The series for me is one of the best of the year, and the reason for that, it does a great job in. You've got some fantastic acting performances. Firstly, like across the board as well. It's not like just. I can't say there was an acting performance which didn't, grab my attention. So you've got. I'm gonna start with like some of the supporting characters. Deirdre O'Connell, I think, was phenomenal.
Yes.
As Oz's mum, like so good. Really capturing that sort of tumultuous relationship between Oz and her son.
Yeah.
Her and Oz, shall I say? Renzi Felix was so good as Victor from the get-go.
Yes.
And you can see like that change in Victor's character slowly but surely. But Victor doesn't like change straight away. You see the moments where he's like pulled back into the previous life and then gets back into the life of sort of criminality with Oz. Cristin Milioti, probably one of the best acting performances of the year from a TV perspective, at least, if not from a general. She was so good as Sophia. And I think I really enjoyed her character. And obviously Colin Farrell, like just a madman, just an absolute madman of an actor. And I think the testament to his acting in the series is when people say, oh, I didn't realise that was Colin Farrell. Obviously the prosthetics and makeup and stuff and the body, but it's also the accent, the portrayal of Oz as a character. Yeah, superb. Great series.
What a wonderful summary, man.
Wow.
Triz, beat that.
I mean, I can't because I haven't actually finished The Penguin. But what I have seen The Penguin, I am enjoying it. I mean, I'm not a fan of the Batman, so I think that's what's kind of prolonged everything and made me very reluctant to watch it. And even on watch, I'm like every time something happens. But one thing you did mention just there was Oz's mother. My goodness. So what is it, like a Boston accent or some sort? What accent is it?
It's like New Jersey.
New Jersey kind of.
Bro, I'm loving everything. My big strong boy. Like,
My boy.
I'm loving all of the accents. Like proper, it's got me really, really tuned in. And I'm just confused why the Batman is so bad and this is so good. It doesn't make any sense because I didn't think Colin Farrell's Penguin in the Batman was even spin-off worthy at the time, but I don't know if I didn't like the movie.
It was 2 scenes that I think won it for him. Obviously, I thought it was good.
The car scene.
It was the car scene and the scene when he's been caught by Jim Gordon and Batman, and they're figuring out the rat sort of riddle. And I think it was that scene. 2 detectives. I think it was those 2 particular scenes from the film that kind of like got people's attention because people loved Colin Farrell's performance.
I mean, I think the spectacle of the fact that obviously he's in prosthetics and it's obviously he's wearing like a big fat suit, all this kind of stuff. It's like, oh my God, this is Colin Farrell, that kind of thing. And like you just said, the voice transformation, like the accent that he's putting on is, I mean, he's already phenomenal in terms of acting anyway, but what he's delivering is intense. And from what I have seen of the Penguin, I'm actually thoroughly impressed, even though I don't like the Batman, say it again. But you know what I mean? I'm very, very, very impressed. The Victor guy that you brought up,
Renzi Felix.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sold yet. I'm not sold yet at all. Does he have a stutter, or is it just when he gets nervous he stutters?
He doesn't.
Yes.
He doesn't.
Who you talking about? Renzi Felix, the actor, or Victor?
No, you talking about the actor himself or
the Victor, not the actor himself.
Oh, Victor has a stutter.
Yeah, Victor has started.
Okay.
And it heightens based on the situation.
Okay,
so
cool.
If he's like nervous or stressed, it like peaks, it gets higher.
Okay, cool.
But if he's like quite comfortable with his surroundings, I think. Have you seen the episode where he's with his girl? It's like episode 2 or it's episode 3.
I've seen when he's trying to, and she's like, "Where are you from?" And he's like, I don't know what to say, but he's from. He takes a while to say it. He's taking a while to say where he's from. And then when he does, she's like, "Oh, I heard that's where everyone got lost and all this stuff." Is that the episode?
No, you're
about?
talking. No.
I know what you're talking
That
about.
was episode 2, no.
No, that you're quite far. That was in the club when they were
No,
doing
they
the
weren't in the
bliss.
club. No, they weren't in the club. They were in
It was his
Oz's house.
No, this is the throwback episode where like we see him with his family.
Oh, no, I haven't seen that. Episode.
Oh, you're like episode 2.
Haven't seen that episode. Haven't seen that episode.
So you ain't seen episode 3?
Don't know. Don't think so.
Nah.
I've been in Japan.
This guy's been in Japan.
I've been in Japan. I've been watching anime.
Fairs.
But I think Victor, I saw him from Runaways. That's when I first got introduced to him.
That's him.
Yes. Yeah. So that kind of step up was huge. And you make a good point, guys. Like, it wasn't like a very, very quick kind of like descent into evil. It wasn't that. Even like towards the end, it never was really like. But it's more of him slowly becoming, you know what I mean, like not losing like his innocence, but I would say more him growing up in many ways in the kind of like scenario and situation that he's in.
The crime underworld, yeah.
Yeah, because he's very, very naive at the start.
Yeah, super.
Whereas-
He's just a petty criminal at the start, right? And then you slowly but surely you see that transition into like being the sort of undergrad of the mob boss, if you like. But
Yeah.
as I said before, it wasn't like from A to G. It was like you see moments where he steps back into like B, and he's with his family, and we see him with the girlfriend, for example, and he like that push and pull scenario for him where he's like, this Oz guy, there's something about him which I admire, but I could easily change my life and get out of Gotham, get out of Crime Point, and go live the life that I probably should be living. But then that speaks to the grooming and the manipulation of Oz, right? Because at the end of the day, it's what we see in the real world where like mob bosses and gangsters sort of groom young kids into doing their bidding and so on and so forth. That's like a real world thing that they've translated into this world of like Gotham, which was really cool.
Actually, great point. That segues into when there was a point where Victor had a kind of option to leave this life and to go away with this girl, kind of thing. And he tells her, yo, book me a, you know what I mean?
I'm ready to leave.
You know what I mean? I'm ready to leave. Book me a, you know what I mean? A seat on that bus, that Greyhound out of the city. And when he's at the club and Oz can see there's something that he's kind of like troubled by, kind of thing. And then once he realized at the club, like everything's going well, you know what I mean? Oz wearing a white suit, he's happy.
Bliss was moving well.
You know what I mean? Everything's moving, you know what I mean? And he's so happy. And this moment where he's, you want to leave? And he's going crazy, and he puts the gun in his face. Incredible scene, outstanding scene.
Art of manipulation, man. Perfect.
It really is. You want to leave? Leave. You know what I mean? Imagine someone saying to you, leave, there's a gun in your face, bro. You know what I mean? The whole time. Crazy.
It's also like, do you want to leave this life behind? You want to leave this money, this opportunity for you to change your life?
Exactly.
And I think that speaks to in that same episode, I have to spoil, unfortunately, there was a scene before where Oz and Vic went for dinner. They were at a restaurant, right? And Victor's stuttering whilst he's speaking to the waiter. And the waiter speaks for Victor. And you know how I can imagine how annoying that would be for you as someone with a stutter, where someone speaks for you rather than being patient, which again, I can understand from his perspective as well. Anyway, and Oz is like, no, let him speak. Like, shut up.
He starts screaming in the restaurant.
Like literally tells you can do the accent, I ain't got it. But literally tells the waiter, let him speak. He can speak for himself. And that was like a moment of like, wow, this guy actually like cares for me.
Okay, cool.
But then it takes you to the end of the series and you're like, well, does he really care for him?
We'll get to that. You know what I mean?
But I think one great thing about the series is definitely the writing and the caretaking to like develop these characters, to also give us backstory for these characters. Almost every character within an 8-episode series gets backstory that doesn't take you out of the story. It keeps you in it and provides context. Deirdre O'Connell, we find out why, not Deirdre O'Connell, sorry, that's the actress.
The mum.
Frances, Oz's mum, we actually find out why she is the way she is with her mental health, why she has this relationship with Oz where she essentially is using him for the opportunity to gain sort of leverage and power within Gotham, because he promised her the world, and she was like, yeah, you know, Oz, you're going to be this powerful man, blah, 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 blah. Victor, we found out about him, we found out about Sophia in episode 4, which is probably one of the best episodes of the entire series.
That was the best, I was one of the,
I have 8 as the best.
8?
I have 8, 4, 7. That's my ranking already. But
I think I'm 7 for 8.
Interesting.
Yeah.
But we've got the same range, right? Yeah, no, those are the best 3. But we found out why Sophia, who she was before she became the hangman, quotation marks. We found out who she was before sort of the...
And what Carmine Falcone did to his own daughter.
What he did to his
that.
daughter, what he did to women in Gotham, which speaks to like the misogyny in that crime world, right, where like men can get away with anything, and they can use their power and their money and their sort
What did
of
you think of Mark Strong as Carmine, as young Carmine Falcone?
It was a bit dry for me.
Yeah, he wasn't John Turturro, man.
It was a bit dry. It was a bit one note.
Yes, because the thing is, because I rewatched the Batman recently, and like John Turturro and as Carmine Falcone, way more animated, way more character,
charisma. There was more color to his performance.
Yeah, whereas Mark Strong was a bit more
stoic,
a bit more reserved. You know what I'm saying, and that was the issue for me.
I think you spoke about his reasoning for not wanting to return, where he said, "Oh, it's like because this series is a bit more violent to women." It was like, bro, your character was violent to women in the Batman. What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's kind of.
But maybe he's changed his mind in the last year or so. I don't know.
So who is Victor actually in comics? Who's Victor?
No, it's just an invented character.
Just a support character, just for
the show. Yeah.
Okay, I get you.
And I think you've spoken about this before. It speaks to like that mentor-mentee relationship, which is an interesting one for shows on films to explore.
Yeah.
Like we've seen it in The Sopranos with
Christopher
and Tony.
Yeah.
And we know already that this series takes huge inspiration from like the Italian mobster gangsters.
Yeah, they weren't hiding at all.
Narrative.
No.
It was in your face, and it was. I think they portrayed it like very well. It was really interesting. Like Sopranos, especially, is probably the biggest influence. I would say.
Yeah. To be fair, when people initially were comparing this to Sopranos, I was like, "Shut up! Do not besmirch one of the best shows on TV." And then I remember I was like, I think I told you. I think I watched 2 episodes. Like, no, this is all right. This is okay. You know what I mean? It's good. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I hear a lot of hype. I don't see that yet. But 4, well, I was like, okay. That's when I was like, I set up. I was like, okay, now I'm gonna lock in now.
Oh, now you're watching.
Now I'm watching. I'm locked in. You know what I mean?
So at that point, 4 is the best of the season. So it would make sense why that would be like the turning point for people, because one thing the series has done very well is provide, as I said before, context and backstory by like flashbacks and flashback scenes, but doesn't take you out of the present. It's not like an entire dedicated episode to the past. It's like, here's some parts of Sophia's backstory which add context to like her in the present, rather than like an entire episode that's just solely dedicated to a flashback episode, which I think works very well for the series, because it keeps you in the present.
Exactly. And I think once you get into Oz's backstory in terms of like why he is the way he is, I found that, because to be fair, I'm never normally a fan of flashback episodes. I just think they're a real trick that kind of like storytellers use to kind of get a lot of exposition out of the way, kind of thing. But this was done to a point where, like, you not only do you see the backstory, but you also see, oh my goodness, this guy is he's always been a monster.
Did they talk about his club foot?
So they don't really go into that in too much detail. They show that he's had an issue, maybe some sort of accident or something like that, and his brothers have to look after him, so to speak.
It's been an issue since he was a child. So.
Yes, it's been an issue since he was a child.
The young Oz, by the way, incredible.
The kid that played the young Oz, so good.
Incredible.
The accent,
bro, sick.
And the way he's kind of walking, he does it so well. And once you find out what the backstory is, which I ain't gonna ruin for you, Triz. Once you find out what it is,
But I think why those sort of, again, flashback scenes work is because they give you bits of information through Oz's script and Oz's sort of his lines throughout the entire 8 episodes. So he references Rex Calabrese in the first episode.
Yes.
He references his brothers in like the first
and that
couple
car.
References his brothers in the first couple of episodes. He speaks about his brothers, his mother, Rex. All of those things are spoken about. I think Sophia, do we find out that Oz was her driver before that?
Yes.
So it's already mentioned, and then we actually see their dynamic when Sophia was younger. So like, it's not like, oh yeah, just here's a flashback scene. It's like moments are given to you.
You see Oz in this little cheap suit kind of thing as a driver.
Yeah, but the script plays into the narrative, if that makes sense. Yeah.
What do you think about Sophia's whole arc from start to finish? What did you think?
I think there were a few moments where it was like a bit on the nose of this, like the struggle that she has to whether she wants to stay in Gotham or not on her sort of journey. But for the most part, I think she was superbly written. I really enjoyed the nuance that the series provides, especially the way in which she treats women.
Yeah.
which I think speaks to how she's been treated as a woman in Gotham. Like
Yes.
the Falcone crime family kind of always ostracized her to an extent anyway. And her father did promise her, say, "Oh yeah, you're better than your brother Alberto," and so on and so forth. But at the same time, I don't think I don't think Carmine was ever going to give her the keys to the castle. Sort of thing.
Really?
Don't think so.
But she's so switched on, and you can see she is.
Look how willing he
lead.
was. Look how easy it was for him though to essentially excommunicate her
from the family. That's a good point.
It was so easy for him to do so. Look how we're going to assume he offed his wife.
Oh yeah. No, that's said. Like
so
he did.
Look, if you can do that to your wife, you can do anything to your daughter. Why would we presume that he's so willing to give his daughter the keys? And I think that speaks again like the misogyny within the Falcone crime family. But yeah, my point about Sophia is like with Eve, for example, we see how she treats Eve, knowing that Eve is an ally of Oz, because she knows Eve is a woman that's essentially under the spell, under the sort of guise of Oz. Yeah. How she treats Francis, despite the fact again she knows there's more to Francis, but also Francis is the reason why Oz is the way he is to an extent. Yeah. Who else? And there's the women in episode 4 who were sort of victims of the hangman.
Yes.
And the sympathy that she felt for those, but then the struggle she had with dealing with also her ties to the Falcone crime family. That there's a duality and a sort of a tug of war that she has.
Yeah.
With her loyalties to the family and her loyalty to being a woman who have been victims of the hangman.
So I can ask a question. So did she actually kill 7 people or did she not?
She didn't.
She didn't. She was framed, bro.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, swear down.
By her dad.
By her own father.
Violated. Oh, swear down. So that's why she's twisted. For what reason?
Bro, she's twisted because she was in Arkham Asylum.
Arkham State Hospital.
And Arlen broke her, bro.
Damn. So is Theo what's that his name? Theo Mossy. Theo something.
Theo Fascist or something? I know you're talking about.
Is he Scarecrow?
So people are trying to say he's going to be
maybe not.
No, I don't think he's got that, man, in the bag to be able to do that, man.
What do you mean, I'm afraid.
Nah, I don't.
Have you ever seen Army of the Dead? Come on now, this guy can act.
You're not helping him out there, bro. that comp.
Have you ever seen what the hell's that guy? Luke Cage?
Oh my! I forgot about he's in that.
Yeah,
he's in the Shades.
He's in that Shades. Yeah.
That was so bad.
Anyway. Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, that was weird.
But I don't think he could be Scarecrow. Do you think he could be Scarecrow?
I think the series, maybe intentionally or unintentionally, from the sort of screenshot that people have taken, might have alluded to the idea, and then they can touch upon it, or maybe not. Like they don't have to make him Scarecrow, but the opportunity is there if that was intentionally or unintentionally done, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't think he was well written for the most part.
Yes, because he is very one note.
He's probably the biggest weakness of the series.
Very simpy, you know what I mean? Like, and it wasn't great.
There was just like a lack of sort of context. There was a lack of intrigue in him.
Yeah.
I get his purpose because he's sort of Sophia's lackey, if you like, and does all her bidding. And
so this is what we wanted to get into. So the series kind of ends basically not with many action set pieces. There are numerous action set pieces.
Just the one I want to talk about quickly.
Go on.
The headshot with and it goes through his eye in episode 8 when my man's taking his drops. The Fed, and then the blood splatters on the screen. One of the best shots of the series.
That caught me by surprise.
Yeah, I knew he was gonna. That's the great thing, though. You know he's gonna die. Yeah. You don't know how. So when it goes through his eye and then it splatters on the screen, it's just mad, visceral, sick, crazy.
So and also this is where my issues begin. I felt like Oz got out of situations too easily. Like situations which no human being should get out of.
Episode 2, or was it episode 2 or 3 when he's in the chair?
Oh, he's getting his arm like kind of sliced by the
fire.
And that was a hard situation to get out.
There's too many of those though. Episode 8 is the same one when he's on the chair rocking, and then the chair falls and it breaks
it, and a shard of wood comes out and he's able to stab someone with it.
And then he uses them as a shield, and that scene's cold though. I can't lie. Don't get me wrong. I agree with you. It is flawed, but that was actually quite hard. But yeah, I said that it was it's hard for you to sort of compartmentalize reality and what is real.
Yes.
So it's just like obviously because like I said, obviously the episode 2 one especially. When he gets out of that situation, the chair thing, the car gets driven. That's got the brother inside the boot, right?
Yes.
In the trunk of the car.
Yeah.
And obviously, at the end of that episode, they talk about how, you should have I thought he was gonna cut the head off and all this kind of stuff. To Vic, right?
Yeah.
So is Vic the one that chopped the finger off and all that kind of stuff? because it had the ring.
Yes.
Yeah. So Rick took the finger off.
Yeah.
And he was kind of talking about, I was gonna try to take the head off, and I was thinking about the spinal cord and all this stuff. So was he actually gonna do that?
I think Vic would have.
Because obviously you said about how he transcended into this kind of darker version of himself. So was that like the early days when it was like?
I think he would have struggled to do so though. I don't think he would have been like.
Yeah, because there's a point where Victor kills a character. You know what I'm saying? That was, and you could see the.
Is it Squid?
Yeah, Squid. Yeah, and you could see like how it messes him up, and then like the way Oz tries to kind of like comfort him is like, wow, it's kind of crazy. Like, don't worry. Always the first, you know what I mean? It's crazy, bro. It's crazy.
But then he's speaking from experience, right? Because his first was essentially, this one I won't spoil, but his first were people that are very close to him, right? Which is probably one of the hardest things to have to deal with. But as he said, it does get easier the more you do it, as with anything. The more you do something, the more accustomed you become.
This is loosely based on comics. This doesn't feel like it's anything related.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's based off like a specific set of comics per se.
It's very loose, very loose. If anything, 100%.
Is this Todd Phillips? Was it Matt Reeves? Sorry,
Matt Reeves.
Matt Reeves. Matt Reeves.
But the showrunner was Lauren LaFranc.
Yes, who did a great job, by the way.
Superb, yeah.
The one thing which I was very surprised about was the fact that the kind of like the series ends not with like retribution in the fact of physical retribution. It was more mental warfare. Like the fact that Frances is kind of like her whole mind is mined, by the way, by Cristin. What's the character name? Sophia. But she mines her mind to try and work out why Oz is the way he is, and kind of thing. And then when she works out what Oz did, and tries to get him to admit it to his mum, and
crazy scene.
And then his mum basically saying, "Why you like I already knew."
But he blamed her dementia, which is. It's just crazy in of itself. Like
and he's trying to, even though she's saying all this horrible stuff to him, he goes, "Ma, they're twisting your words." You know what I mean?
She's dementia, Ma.
You know, it's crazy. It's crazy. And then, bro, will your own mom stab you up? You know what I mean? And he still tries to save her, and actually does save her.
But his mum, innit?
But then he also like continuously lies. Like he's incapable of being honest and truthful.
He's lying to her, lying to himself.
And I think it speaks to like, because the whole series in a sense is based on his love for his mother, right? Like to the point where it's a bit too much. It's a bit weird.
It's very weird.
Which you'll see at the end when you do watch it. It's like this is not normal sort of thing, right? But does he really love her, or does he love her for his sake? Because there's moments in the series where she asks him to carry out certain actions, and there's certain things which a son should do for their mother. Not that specific act, but just generally speaking, or just being honest with your mother, not lying to her face like that. And he's incapable of doing those things because of how ingrained those actions are within him, which speaks to like, it's a great character essay on him as a character, him as a human being and as a person, where you can claim to love somebody, but it's also about how you act. It's not what you say, it's like how you carry yourself.
Yeah, actions.
Yeah.
They speak louder than words, as people say. So,
bro, it's mad. Like, imagine your mom saying, "I nearly had you killed." You know what I mean? And him saying, "Don't worry, Ma, they're twisting your words." You know, it's crazy.
Episode 7, brilliant, man. Like,
that's why it's my favorite episode. Like, when you see that and you see, brother, Colin Farrell so good, man. The way he acted that out when he realizes, when his mum tells him, like, I knew the whole time. His eyes,
episode 8.
How big his eyes got.
Episode 8, yeah.
Episode 8.
Really good. There were some great scenes though, man. Like, one scene I really enjoyed episode 8 was the scene with Councilman Hadi in the courtroom, which speaks to like, again, Ozzy's art of like manipulation and using information as power. Like, information is so powerful, and if you can use it to your gain, which he does beautifully, and twists truths to his favor. Like, say, frames Sophia and Salvatore for certain things which he was to blame for. But then it also speaks to like how corrupt Gotham is as a city, right? Where politicians will use anything to their gain, which we know as a whole anyway. It's always been a thing with Gotham. Like Gotham,
the Council of Owls, and how that's that comic aspect of the, you know what I mean, of the run is going to hopefully get into the show.
Yeah, Gotham's super corrupt, man, and I think that was.
Will that be in the movies first, in Batman? The Batman Part 2.
What specifically?
Is it the Court of Owls?
Court of Owls.
Yeah, the Court of Owls.
There's been a lot of talk that will be the case for the second film.
It makes sense, because especially the way that court scene was, and obviously I don't know if you saw the drapes. They all look like owls in the courtroom and all that kind of stuff. So a lot of people are kind of theorizing that will probably be the main kind of like plot engine for the movie and possibly even season 2 of The Penguin. You know what I mean?
The Penguin's gonna get season 2.
Come on, brother. You know what I mean?
I do think it kind of does depend on the Batman 2 and
actually, you know, that's
and where they write that film.
Yeah. I didn't think of that. Yeah.
But based on the success of Penguin or The Penguin, shall I say, you'd have to assume there would be a season 2 because it's Hollywood.
The Penguin delivers on the goods because the Penguin, again, everyone on this podcast know Mohammed loves a good setup and payoff. We set up at the start. We set at the start that he's gonna get his mum everything she wants, the biggest penthouse. The view's gonna be incredible. You know what I mean? And he gives it to her in the end. Now, at what cost?
And how much can she really appreciate what she's been given?
Given her new state. Crazy.
And then the end scene where like he's essentially found a new mother. Which is twisted in of itself.
And that was messed up.
Yeah, twisted, man.
So is Eve still about?
She's about.
She's about.
Okay. She's about, bro. You know what I mean?
Shout out Eve.
She's a good character.
I remember from Prometheus. She lit.
Yeah, she's a good character in the series. She's used loosely, but when she's there, she has a powerful impact because it speaks to Oz's use of people. Like he buys people, innit? He doesn't like build relationships with them. He sees people and love as transactional, which the show on Lauren LaFranc actually mentions where he's incapable of actually like building connections with people. His mum, he has to buy her. Victor gives him money to work for him. The same with Eve. Sophia, I guess, is more transactional in the sense of bliss and the shrooms. Is it the shrooms?
Yep.
The same with Carmine, the same with Salvatore. Like everything is transactional.
Yeah.
So what he does to Victor in the end makes sense. What happens with Victor makes sense because that is the one true relationship that he's probably had in the series that we've seen. Because Victor genuinely has a love and an adoration for him. Yeah. And he can't accept that because it's not being bought. It's being given to him for free.
And it's a weakness for him. It becomes a weakness.
Because
him caring that much.
If he actually ends up really caring for Victor, or probably does, but you know, if that strengthens, if someone gets Victor, that harms him. If someone uses Victor as an opportunity to gain leverage, that harms him and his business. Business comes first. Yeah. He comes first. Yeah. People come second. Relationships come second. So no, it's superbly written, incredibly written. For me, anyway. Yeah. There are some like minor flaws, but for the most part, it's top.
I think it's more of the kind of Deus ex machina of him getting out of like mad situations.
That's the biggest. That's
the biggest kind of like, you know what I mean, nitpick I have, if anything.
Especially because he's not someone that's like, you wouldn't say he's like a super trained.
Yeah.
He's a big fella. You know what I mean?
Assassin who's going to get out of tricky situations. He's not the jackal. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like the fact he's able to get out of those sort of situations is flawed. Yeah, I can oversight it, but it's definitely a flaw.
Yeah, but again, I think this series is fantastic. I couldn't recommend it. It's gonna be up there on the end of the year list. You know what I mean?
It's my favorite of the year, but I think Emmys wise, it will do very well next year because it's essentially Shogun was the show of this year, and Shogun's already won its awards. I'm going to assume it wouldn't be in the Emmys.
It cleaned up.
So it's already done its thing. Penguin will be submitted for next year.
Yeah.
Can't see many shows.
The Bear.
Not for season 3. I like season 3, but I don't think it will be comparable.
Do you not think it was season 3? It's not bad, season 3.
It just doesn't hit the heights.
Yeah.
But I'm a stan of The Bear, but it doesn't hit the heights of the first two. No.
Yeah.
Especially season 2. God.
But again, I think recency bias is creeping in for a lot of people, man. Like people are forgetting about Ripley, Industry. You know what I'm saying?
Fallout
was good, but wouldn't Fallout fall into the category for this year because it came out March, April? Good series, man.
Good series.
But if it's going up against the Penguin, then probably not.
Yeah.
I ain't seen Ripley, but Ripley's good from what I've heard. Industry was superb. Season 3 was great.
Silo.
I haven't seen season 2, man.
So
has it started?
So
yeah,
it has started, brother. I was a Silo season 1 hater, yeah, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I am. It's redeeming itself in my opinion. That's what I'm gonna say. I haven't finished yet.
How many times did you watch Silo?
Huh?
How many times did you watch Silo?
That's just the once through.
Yeah, I've started season 1 because I got to like episode 3 and I was like, this is alright, but I didn't finish it, so I'm finishing.
So I'm on episode 4. No, episode 5 now.
Of season 2.
Season 2.
Oh, it's flying through. Goodness me.
No, it's screeners. You know what I mean?
Yeah. All right.
Man,
shout out Apple.
Yeah, man whispered it, you know.
Right.
Shout out Apple.
We don't all have that plug here.
But it's quite good, man. And I'm actually upset they didn't release the last episode. I'm gonna have to watch that with the rest of you civilians. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm joking, but it's looking good, man. I've got high hopes, man. Considering how much I'm enjoying it.
You know what? With the Penguin, the reason why I'm quite pleased is people are enjoying it because I watched the series before it came out and I was like so high on it. But obviously you.
Oh look, he's got his plug. Get at him, please.
He's like, I watched it way before it came out.
Yeah, way before. You know what I mean?
Had to get that in. Innit?
Yeah, of course you had to. You had to get it in.
This guy tried one up on me. You know? But obviously, when your like opinion on something is validated for the most part, obviously you don't. It's not like the biggest. It's not the be all and end all. But when you know your opinion can sort of be trusted on something, because you know for the most part people have enjoyed something like you have, it definitely makes you like, you know, oh yeah, I can tell people that a show is good and they can trust my opinion, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's a good series for sure. Really good, actually. Can't just say good. Have I missed anything that I really liked about the series? Because we've waffled about this for a long time. Nice.
No, we've hit everything, bro. I think honestly, it's
one scene that I loved.
Go.
Last scene, yeah. This scene's so hard. It's Salvatore Moroni, and something happens to him. Right. It's at episode 7, and like,
oh my days.
I'm not gonna say what's happened to him, but something happens to him, and Oz just goes on this rant, right, in the accent, in character. And it shows like, I guess the psychotic side of Oz.
I beat you. He's going crazy, bro.
Like, you've won already.
Yeah.
But you can still feel his need for validation in that scene.
Who won, Salvatore?
Which speaks to like the insecurity that I think he will always have, no matter
what.
No matter how much he rises in the Batman 2 or Penguin 2.
Yeah.
There's always going to be an inferiority complex with him.
Literally, bro, at the end of the series, he's at the top of the mountain. Quite like literally like
but he's still in
physically
Crown
at
Point
the
though.
top. Huh?
He's still in Crown Point though.
Yeah.
What was you going to say though?
But he's literally at the top. And even then, he still needs validation. You know
Tell
what I
me,
mean?
tell me.
He still needs someone to tell me this, tell me that. You know what I mean? Ma. Ridiculous. Isn't it everything you imagine? Bro, it's crazy.
In the same dress.
You're like, yeah. That's...
Yeah.
I didn't even realize that.
Makeup, I don't know if you clocked that. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Makeup's just like the same, dresses the same. Talk to me, yeah.
God.
Twisted. Quite twisted when you think about it. That last scene is tapped, but...
Right now, this shows it's my number 4 right now.
Apparently, there was moments in the series where his new home at the end of season 1, they have like scenes and moments in the series where you continuously see his new place throughout the series, which is like hinting towards, it's like an Easter egg towards what is eventually going to be is like his new home. Yeah. But he's still in Crown Point. The series gives him a win, but it doesn't really, because he's lost people that he says he cares about, and he's still in Crown Point. Yeah. He's still having to look over to the city, the main part of Gotham, where the riches are, where the Falcones were, where the Maronis were, where Bruce Wayne is,
and where we see at the last frame of the show.
Sick.
And shout out Triz and his podcast Popcorn and Controllers, which I mentioned this on the live stream. The show is most likely going to end with one kind of like quick scene where you see some kind of paraphernalia or some kind of imagery in regards to the Batman.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah.
I was gonna say.
And we see the spotlight, bro.
Oh, you see it?
We see the spotlight, and then we cut to black.
Okay, so I was gonna say, do you feel like the season needed to have anything to allude to the fact that there is a Batman, like the Batman was there or anything like that?
For it to be, because he's not referenced pretty much at all in the series, but it wouldn't make sense for the Batman to not be present at all.
Yeah. While all this is going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't want... It's believable for him to be doing other things. Yeah. And dealing with other things.
The memes have been hilarious, by the way, online. Have you seen the memes?
He might have been with Catwoman, I don't know, chilling up in the crib and that.
Have you seen the things that like I think he was like modelling for something, and he's on like a guitar and stuff like that. Look what Bruce has been doing while Sophia and Otto's been running amok.
But yeah, it made sense for them to do that at the end, just to say like, oh, he's aware of what's going on.
They're probably going to spin it as he's been dealing with all of the issues inside Gotham proper, Gotham Central and all that kind of stuff. He hasn't been able to go out to Crown Point and all this kind of stuff, out in the other boroughs, all that kind of stuff. I imagine they're going to do something in that regard. I think it goes back to what I was saying on your pod. Like, initially I was thinking they have to show something because like this is Batman's extremely important part of culture and stuff like that, and important part of the show as well. But Gaz, brother, this show was so good. I didn't think they even needed it at the end. I was like, when I saw it, I was like, it was more just gratification for the fact that I called it. But you know what I mean? But the fact that
sound like Oz.
Exactly. But the fact that it was in it, I was like, oh. You know what I mean? I kind of forgot about the Batman in many ways because it's just how compelling these characters in this world is.
They built the Gotham universe superbly. That's one thing I will say. Like they expanded it beyond what we saw in the Batman, especially with Crime Point, because it speaks to like class divide, poverty, and the struggle between like the rich and the poor, the wealthy and the those with less than. So no, there's so many layers that they've touched upon in the series, even without like making it so in your face. That it's done really well. Yeah,
it's up there for my end of the year. Without a doubt. You know
Fairs, man.
But yeah, man.
Damn.
Anything else, guys?
No. We could all day, but no need.
Triz, have we convinced you that this is something that you need to finish ASAP?
Oh yeah. It's definitely something I will be finishing. Yeah. Will I be rewatching the Batman? I don't know about that, but you know what I'm saying. That's for another day.
What are your gripes with the Batman, briefly?
Oh, so boring, bro. So boring. Oh, so boring. And
you can't say it's boring without articulating.
Going, oh, like, bro, I don't give a fuck. Shut up. It's so boring. So boring. That was one of the worst Batmans I've ever seen in my whole life. Shout out George Clooney for being the worst, but you know what I mean?
Goodness me.
That
this guy's just throwing out freaking shots everywhere, bro.
I'm the complete opposite with you about it being boring.
No, bro, it's so boring. Bro, you know what's funny? When I watched the Joker, I said, bro, I know they're gonna spin something else and do a Batman version. And what happens, Lord behold, they do it. And I was like, it can't be any worse than that one. And then when I was watching it, I was like, yo, this is trash.
But why is it trash? Articulate.
You know what? Okay, I'll tell you why. I think my biggest problem was the fact that I went into the cinema and then I had like a big plate of oxtail, rice, mac and cheese.
What? I was not expecting that.
Stinking up the whole cinema, and I ate that and I was like, yo, this is not interesting at all. That was it. So then when I did wake up, I was like, nah, man, this film is not it, bro.
So basically, guys,
I was not engaged.
This guy got the itis. Fell asleep and was blaming oxtail, mac and cheese on how he felt about the movie.
And he stank the cinema,
bro.
And he stank out the cinema, bro. You're a poor patron, bro.
Listen, that one there, that film, it just didn't. I wasn't engaged at any point in time, and I think even the Zoe Kravitz Catwoman element, I wanted more from that as well. I don't know what was going on. It was just giving me like BDSM like vibes the whole movie, and I was like,
goodness me,
this ain't what I signed up for. So for me,
can you watch him film without eating any oxtail mac and cheese, please?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What type of we've talked about this a lot. What kind of for the most part, I know it all varies. What kind of storytelling do you like the patient, slower paced storytelling, which is what the Batman is? Or are there films that you like of that note that you can like think of, if that makes sense? Because some people prefer faster paced,
high octane.
Yeah. I don't. You know,
which isn't a bad thing either. Like some people can be snobs and be like, oh, you like high octane fast. No, sometimes people need to be good.
No, I feel like a slow burn is good. I just feel like I think my main problem is the fact that I walked into the theater again with the same premises I had for the Joker, for things, and I think I've asked it a few times in the conversation about the Penguin. How does it tie into the comics? And you all keep saying, well, I mean, there's not really that much, and I think that was my main problem.
But isn't the Batman
the Batman really does tie into the detective aspects. The fact that Batman in year 2, the early Batman, there's literally a whole run about that.
Not for me. I was watching it, I wasn't seeing it. I couldn't get into it.
Couldn't see vision.
Couldn't get into it at all. Didn't like the suit. I think there's things like that. When I see eyesores, and it always distracts me and deflects everything about something for me. And I think the suit was one of the worst things. And then even there's a part where he's on like the glider when he gets his wings for the first time and he falls off. And I guess that was kind of cool because like it's his first time doing it. It's supposed to be an early Batman.
That scene was hard.
Yeah, it's an early Batman. He's trying to get used to these kind of things.
And he jumps off the rooftop and they're chasing him. That's hard. Man.
And I was like, this guy's useless. And I was just like, no, that's safe for me. So that was just for me. Maybe after I finish the Penguin,
give it another go.
Then I'll give it another go.
Yeah.
You've only watched it once, right?
Yeah, once.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'd say when you're ready to give it another go.
I've watched it 3 times. Thoroughly enjoyed it, bro.
Bro, I've watched it more than that. Don't worry.
How many times have you watched The Dark Knight?
The Dark Knight, I can't even count, bro.
That is a movie.
I can't even count.
I think the Batman's better.
Gaz.
Yeah, I've decided.
Gaz. I was about to call his government name, by the way. I had to stop myself there.
I think the Heath Ledger's still numero uno, but I prefer the Batman. It's my favourite. It's probably like my top 3 comic book films ever.
That's your top 3 comic.
Recency bias.
Very much.
I have that, Infinity War, and probably like Winter Soldier.
How the hell do you put Infinity War, the Batman, and
Guys,
I'm being so serious.
my head's spinning.
Like, what's your top 3 comic book films? But you was at the live show when I said this, so you just said.
Actually, no, you're right.
Go on, tell me your top 3 comic films.
Can I put me on the spot here, guys?
Yeah. Is Logan? Yeah, Logan might have to be there for me though. Fucking hell.
Logan was good.
And I like Days of Future Past as well.
Logan, Infinity War. I watched Infinity War. By the way, I have changed my mind. Infinity War is better than Endgame.
Of
I
course
watched
it
it
is.
again.
Oh, way better than Endgame.
What?
I was beating that drum
It's
for
not
a
even a
while.
conversation.
You know what I mean? And the thing is, I am someone.
You can
know what I
admit
mean?
you're wrong, yeah.
I can admit I'm wrong. Rewatched Infinity War. All right, I hear it. I hear it. So yeah, Logan, Infinity War, and I watched Days of Future Past recently.
Good film that, innit?
Bloody hell!
Good
I
film.
would have. Just because it's me, man, I have to be true to myself, man. Black Panther.
Really?
Bro, that movie meant a lot to me.
That's
innit?
a hot take.
This is, you asked me for my favorite, you know what I'm saying?
No, I said best. I didn't say favorite.
Oh, best. Best, okay, I have to be subjective then.
Did I say favorite? Maybe I did say
might have
favorite.
said favourite.
I might have said favourite.
Well,
that's a favourite.
I did say favorite.
Well, Black
so you're
Panther's a mad one to have in your top 3, but I hear it.
Come on, bro. You know what I mean?
Well,
That's a film, bro.
It
Gone,
was a film till it got to the end, but yeah.
Oh, you didn't like the end?
Oh, the train fight.
Oh, that was trash. But
Oh, the fight.
that was trash, bro. Trash. But yeah.
We've
Yeah,
seen many poor fights in, you know what I mean?
good
in comic
free
books.
ish.
Ish. You know what I mean? That's me, man. That's me being true to myself. But guys, this has been a fantastic episode, man. Appreciate you guys, man. Great convo. Again, this is a very, very important one for the end of the year list, by the way.
Yeah,
Penguin.
for sure.
So, but we'll see.
We should definitely do that.
Oh,
End of the year,
oh,
we should-
without a doubt,
yeah.
without a doubt. Don't worry about that. We're gonna lock that one in after this. Guys, please comment, like, subscribe. Let us know what you think of this show, of my top 3, of his takes on the Batman. You know what I mean? Guys, this has been a very, very important one for us. You know what I mean? This has been a great show for the year. A real surprise for me because I didn't think it would be this good. I'll keep it buck. Before, when this was first announced, I was like, nah, I had no hopes for this. I'll be honest with you. It's changed my mind, man. So, guys, please let us know what you think and catch us on the next one.
Yes, sir.
Peace.